is as much as the next person.
Do something about it.
You do not.
Question, what plan of action are you planning to implement concerning this matter? And how soon?
Yeah, how do you guys plan on stopping this? You guys say you want to stop it.
Yeah.
How?
Tell us
How are we gonna
what
stop it?
plan you
Okay.
are.
I mean, generally, we're looking for any regulatory oversight we have on these projects. It's a little different between the two projects because of where they're located and the types of issues that they're raising. We are trying to be as creative as we can in sort of exploring new avenues to address these that maybe weren't typically used by counties. The plan of action is to hold them accountable to whatever regulatory oversight we have for these projects. We have also, I have personally contacted, tried to use some political contacts to state and federal level to try to, bring some pressure from those fronts, particularly on the subsidies and these other things that we don't really have any oversight over. We have, there's a question about engaging the outside engineers, so we have them under contract, both the fire safety, battery storage engineer, outfit, and also the civil engineer. And so as filings come in, they will be evaluated, scrutinized, making sure that they comply with any regulatory oversight that we have. A lot's been raised about this construction issue. I understand that. I know that now LCRE is putting in some footings on that. And so once we cross that threshold, which I know there's some disagreement as to what that is, but once we cross that construction threshold, we have tools to either stop the project. Our ultimate tool is to get a temporary injunction if a project is proceeding that's not permitted or not in compliance with our regs. There's been some consideration for maybe amending our ordinances to the extent that we can to increase regulatory oversight on the projects. Unfortunately, just the way that, and these developers know that they go to unincorporated parts of counties and there's limited oversight from a governmental standpoint. And that's why we're seeing these in areas that don't have a lot of governmental oversight. I'm not saying they all occur in those locations, but it's easier for them to develop these projects in those types of locations.
I have a question and request too. Would
Sure.
you please establish a website from your side to inform the community, the process, time frame, and what is that you projected to do, establishing time frame to accomplish this?
Sure. Right, we're going to work on the website. Hold on a second. We're gonna work on a website, or get a page up, I guess, on our website, try to get as much information out there as we can. We need to continue to work on better educating, I think, the rest of the general public in the county to let them know, what's going on. This is all we know about currently, but until there's some substantial change in regulatory oversight on these types of projects that we continue to develop, not only here, but across the state. And so, but we will put up a page and get information out to the best that we can, to keep the public informed of what's going on.
Will you include this meeting today and all the concerns of the citizens, that website, everything that was said here to be published publicly for everybody to see what's being done, what's being said, and what is the future accomplishment expected?
Are you talking about video or written transcript?
You can do both, would be fine too, but if you have a website where you include everything, you can say the concern, I think it's very important to do that.
Yeah, I think that we can, at minimum, we could do it in writing. If not, we don't record it. I know there's some people that are making video today. Maybe we could link to that if that's going to be posted or something. So I think we can accomplish that as well.
Sure, please.
To get the public's concerns out there for everyone to hear.
Great, that'd be great.
And could we put
Now,
the,
I have high-resolution photographs on a disc that I can provide to you if you would put them on your website. And for the benefit of everybody here, when we're talking about construction, some of the photographs that I have depict a road and bulldozers, not just grubbing. Also, there was a demolition of a house. There was an asbestos abatement. We're not talking about a couple trees knocked over. There were roads built, there was a house demolished.
Mr. Scudder?
Judge Jones, just listening to y'all talk about a path forward, and reading between the lines, and I don't speak for y'all at all, but it seems like the method is that y'all got the teeth in the flood control ordinance. Y'all got good teeth in there that requires them to prove the pre-development hydrology stays the same after construction. And from what I understand about the ordinance, and y'all's very good stance on that ordinance, that they cannot start construction until they've proven that they've not altered the downstream hydrology. That's a big hurdle for them to cross, and a long hurdle. So one strategy would be to toe the line on the drainage ordinance, go through, hire your engineer, go through the process, which is a long process to prove that something with 600 acres of impermeable cover will not raise the floodplain 1 foot. That's a very high hurdle. It's gonna take a long time to cross. The weakness in that plan, and I'm not saying that's y'all's plan, but the weakness in that plan is what Mr. Wheeler was bringing up. They have to start construction before, was it July? July 26th. So I know what I would do if I was them. You kick a dozer off, you start construction, take the slap on the wrist for violating the drainage ordinance, and you got that box checked, and the subsidies come rolling in. So they can start construction, get what they want, and thumb their nose, and the little matrix that they sent you says they don't need your permission to start work, and we've talked about that. So I think to prevent them from willingly violating the flood ordinance, getting that box check for their subsidies, that we need an injunction in place right now, sooner than later, because they could start tomorrow and
I
they
know
met
this-
that July requirements.
I know
I'm
this
asking
could have
for
come from anywhere, but I live across the fence from this fiasco. And this morning I heard chainsaws. And as I was driving into town, I met a wide load carrying a huge bulldozer. Now, it could be going anywhere, I know, but first thing that came to my mind was, here we go.
I'm a federal requirement to start construction by a certain date on the job site by simply offloading a porta potty.
That's right. And they've already got the two big big containers out there, the shipping cargo containers that both. So that's my idea is construction's already
Are you
started.
talking about Marshall Springs?
No, those containers,
Yeah, Marshall.
those containers are owned by
Yes.
somebody else.
Yeah.
So I'm asking y'all
Are
to
they-
consider
are
an
they-
injunction sooner than later.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah,
Thank you.
these
Thank you.
containers
I
are.
just have one more thing. So I've no friends that have received, they've moved the earth, right? And they have received something from our engineering department that said cease and desist, right? Is there a way we can issue a cease and desist on whatever they're doing out there because they have not got a permit, nothing? Even if it's not a permittable something, if they're doing anything that's moving the earth, we can issue a cease and desist, in my opinion, and stop this. Keep delaying it. Keep poking them. Keep pushing it out.
Can we not contact LCRA? Can we not contact LCRA if they're doing construction? I know a lady's name who serves on the board. She lives in Lampasas, Nancy Uri.
That's something we've talked about this morning and I guess yesterday and last week was
Phil
the
Wilson.
LCRA doing the work over there.
General
So
manager.
we're going to address that.
Okay, once again, our intention is not to argue with you. We need action. And Judge Jones, you promised that we would do the group meetings in February, in March, in April, all of these things that we've asked you to do. You said you would, and none of it has been done, okay? Today, you're promising again. Do you realize you are forcing half of the county to hire private attorneys to fight because you won't?
Why can't the county hire
It is,
and fight?
and Zernial has already laid out to you on the Harper project that there are fines that can be done and something is done to show that you are fighting back. She laid that out in, I believe, April or May, okay? None of that has happened to date, and you're sticking to this line that construction has not happened on the Harper site. No one wants to be here and in your faces. I think we have demonstrated that month after month after month in coming and talking to you. We have tried to be respectful, we have tried to do this, and we are seeing nothing out of the county, except stall, stall, stall. This is not personal. We have explained to you, as we did many times, people are going to lose their homes. Do you really want that on your consciences?
And also, I
Commissioner
don't think,
Inslee, could you please look up when people are talking? All of you sit there and you put your noses down and you don't look at these people. They are telling you, this is painful, they are afraid. And at least you could have the courtesy to look up when they are speaking.
and could we not use this example, the Harper, as your example to streamline and strategize for the process, please? Every one of these is important, and you don't need to trim it down so that it moves through quicker. That's not what we would wish.
I think there's a misunderstanding in what I'm trying to communicate. It's that every time, just with anything else, in any industry or any business, right, or your personal life, you go through something the first time you learn about that, right? And then you apply that knowledge to the next time. That doesn't mean that we're trying to make it easier on the developers. But as has been brought up over and over again in this meeting today, there have been some stumbling blocks in that first time. And now we have learned from those stumbling blocks so that we can be more effective going into it. That doesn't mean we're trying to make it easier on developers necessarily. It doesn't mean that we're trying to make it go quicker for them. But we're gonna take the knowledge that we learned and apply it to now, right? I mean, I think everybody would want us to do that. Y'all are paying the taxpayer bills, right? So we want to apply what we've learned to now. But I do want to clarify that there are only certain things that the county can legally do, all right? So, ordinances have come up several times. The county cannot just create an ordinance banning these kind of facilities in our county, all right? There's been resolutions passed by the Commissioners Court, but the county doesn't have the power and the authority to do that under the law.
What about public safety issues?
And
If we're
those-
talking about a flooding situation that could literally kill people from the poor design or lack of design, stormwater retention, that's a public safety issue.
Yes, sir, I agree with you.
Can
It
we
is a
hang
pub-
that on something?
It is a public safety issue, but there's only so much that the county can do legally, and we have to, if we're going to use taxpayer dollars to do something about it, we have to make sure that we have a legal grounds to do that. We cannot, go forward in litigation or anything like that if we don't have a legal grounds to do that. That would be not a fiscally responsible way to handle taxpayer dollars.
Understand.
So yes, we are absolutely looking into public safety if there's an issue with that. Obviously, we're concerned about children being close to these facilities. Obviously, there is high concern for not just children, but property owners, families, individuals who live in this county. But legally, there's only so much that we can do, and we're focusing on the things that we can do. But I want to point out that the things that we can do under the law are things like civil penalty. A violation under this chapter is a penalty of $100 for every violation. That's not a huge penalty.
No.
No,
Another
but when
penalty.
you add them together, like we have discussed on the
Yes.
Peregrine project, which has yet to be done, and if you totaled it up now, how much is it, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000?
I agree.
And that has not been done.
I
And we
agree.
have been playing games with what is construction and what is not.
I agree that there.
And it is insulting, Sarah, to have a county engineer tell people who have been in the industry for decades, who have engineering degrees, that is not construction.
I'm not gonna comment on whether or not it's
And that's fair.
construction, because I believe that's a fact issue that the fact finder would determine, which would be a judge or a jury, okay? So there's going to be different
And
arguments.
that
on
is
what
going to cost the
construction.
county money to defend. You do understand that, and every engineer in here has already executed that this is construction. And that one is what is going to be on the county to defend, and you will not be able to defend it.
Can I finish what I have to go?
Yes.
Additionally, the criminal penalties that are available are for class Cs, which are traffic ticket level offenses. So the statutes that we do have available for us to impose and enforce do not have a lot of teeth in them. Now, does that mean that we shouldn't do it? That's not what I'm saying, but I want everybody to be aware of what the statutory grounds are that we actually have and the resources that we have to enforce. Okay, just one second. That doesn't mean that there cannot be more things that happen, but I want to make sure that it's absolutely clear that the commissioner's court can't, vote right now to ban BESS facilities and solar panels and windmills from the county. They don't have the ability to do that.
No, I'm talking about just making sure that if it's a strip shopping center, if it's a solar farm, if it's a pig farm, if it got impervious surfaces that are in a certain category, that we do a complete civil engineering
Yes, sir.
review of it. And if you don't, with the things we're looking at, we could have a flood. And we've had floods in this neighborhood
Yes, sir.
that are disastrous. That's what we're looking at. I mean, never mind the BESS, which are horrible in their own right, but, I could have neighbors washed away. I'm up on a ridge. I'm relatively safe, but I got a lot of friends that are downstream, and it wouldn't take much to have them gone. That's life safety. That's public safety.
Yes, sir.
And as this relates to the TCEQ permit, they freely admit that they told, Peregrine told the contractor, do not post the permit. It was a legally obtained permit. Why would you tell someone to do that? Okay, it shows an intent to not abide by any rules whatsoever. And when the county doesn't enforce the ordinance, and all of a sudden you do, it helps us with our civil litigation to say, Your Honor, this company has no intention of honoring any law, rule, code, ordinance. It helps. But if you do nothing, it says, look, the county didn't even enforce it. How bad does that look? Terrible.
I understand the points you're making, and the departments that relate to this are working actively on doing what we can.
And we heard this months ago, and you said, yes, we will look at it, and yet nothing has been done to this date.
Time is of the
Your Honor,
essence.
I have a request, would it be possible that you establish a working group, if we have a county attorney, a working group from the community and the county to work together to present a resolution within the time frame established concerning this matter?
Okay, a resolution has no teeth.
Well, at least we need to begin with something, and then we can use politics if needed to fight politics. We have election coming up. You don't perform, give people a vote, again or re-election. So this is what we need to work together with the county, have the attorney there, establish a working group that will work together for a common purpose.
So you guys said, right, that one of the best things we can do is generate public support, right? Here we all are.
Yeah.
The public support's here, right? We're doing our part. We want to help you guys, right? And what it sounds like to me, right? I'm not a lawyer. What it sounds like to me from my end as a citizen is it sounds to me like, hey, our hands are tied. We're kind of trying to do something. But for us as citizens, that's what it feels like. It feels like lip service, to be honest, and respectfully. That's what it feels like.
Yes.
And my question is that if it's not lip service, if y'all do want to do something about this, because these are your homes and families at stake too, right? If it's not lip service, how can we help you? If you need teeth, how do we give you teeth? You say get public support, you got public support. How do we turn public support into teeth that shuts this down? What can we do?
Working group. We need to establish a working group with the county and the community to work together. Specifically for that, in addition to the county attorney of duties that can be established. We need to stop this.
And can you include on that website, you know, higher ups or elected officials that we need to be writing, like people that you all would reach to help you? Put that on the website so that all of us can also reach to them.
Yeah, if they
Because
can help you, we can ask them to help you.
if they get it in
You let us know who
volume,
to ask.
Yeah.
They give no time.
This is what
That,
we're
that's,
here.
that information's on FBGSolar.com. We've developed the website, so who to contact is already on there. Now I'm thinking about adding in, everybody should call Ampere Energy and start hounding them about we don't want you in our backyard.
yes, put that and add else.
Yep.
If you're infinite public safety issues, where death, lost homes, lost property, how is that not enough to say, sorry, it's too dangerous?
That is the job of the fire marshal, and that is in the code in 855 and FBA 1. And this county so far has yet to require these documents, and I get the point that you don't wanna have it that you can delay this on that. Okay, that's fine, but they're still doing construction, which is, again, in violation of that. And Bruce just told you, according to those documents, a permit is required. And right now, they've submitted nothing, nothing. Use the tools that you have.
Today.
When you say your toolbox is limited, it is not limited. We have filled it time and time again. And they are asking you, we've asked you, use it.
We can have a fire ban in place by 5 p.m. today, but we can't stop these guys today too?
Amen.
Yeah.
I think I have a way to help you with that.
We are having to put money, $715,000 into the jail, is that correct? For the HVAC system, to get a new extended warranty and to service the unit, correct? Because it is unsafe to have Freon in a system, HVAC system that houses people. How is it that we can do that and we can't enforce the fire code?
I think I may have something we can do like today, which is, let's get 1,000 people to call General Paxton. He's running for Senate, right? That man, if he gets 1,000 phone calls, guess what he's going to do? He's going to look into this and see how he can put a stop to it and file whatever lawsuits it takes so that this stops. And I respect you guys, like, it's a very tough position to be in. So that's why I think we need to get these higher ups. Yes, it is a state issue, but it can be a federal issue as well. General Paxton, I will bet you anything, if he gets 1,000 phone calls, will be on the hoop to you guys and say, what can we do? Or at least start doing the research on what can he do to stop this.
Also, President Trump is talking about, he spoke to European leaders, telling them that the whole green industry was gonna take them out. So he could help also. He knows what a farce it is and how dangerous it is. So, I mean, we should go all the way to the top. I mean, seriously, this needs to be gone nationwide.
Let's start in this room right here with these gentlemen up here. So.
Charles has the guy from Edgewood, is he coming on site again soon? Because he mentioned, so Charles gave me the phone number to, I believe the guy's name is Eric? Rick. And Rick took my call. I spoke with Rick. He's the guy, the lead developer for this, he's hired by the energy company. I live right north of Canasius Hill, half a mile from where this place is going in. So I contacted him, and he was basically making a joke out of Gillespie County. It kind of hurt. I think he thinks this group is a bunch of rural, very hick people. When I spoke with him, I said, where do you reside? He resides in San Francisco, that's where he's based. He knows nothing about this area. But he did mention, he said in October he's coming back. Is that true? I have not seen or heard. You haven't heard from him?
I spoke with him about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
He does plan to be here the latter half of this month. I suspect next week. I don't think it's just to meet us. I suspect he's here for other things.
other
Yeah, but
meetings.
he needs to meet us. I mean, he said he wanted to meet, the community, but, yeah, I think it's.
I know he does.
I doubt it.
He's not gonna want to meet just
For his profit.
Yeah, it's.
Everybody shows up with their guns.
But I appreciate your help, Charles, in getting that information to me, the maps.
And it's coming from somebody in California that's being destroyed on a level that unprecedented.
Tax them at 80%. Be like, you don't live here. We're gonna hit you with an 80% tax. No big deal. Put it back in the county.
Well, the request, Your Honor, that I mentioned about establishing that working group to look at this, county attorney, at least you answer to that, please.
Sarah, you have any issue with that?
I will make time to attend meetings with any constituents who want to meet. I've done that in the past, I will continue to do that, but I also have to have time to get work done. So I'm more than willing to sit in meetings and listen to collaborators and suggestions, but I have to also be able to do the work.
But your heart's not in it.
Open to meetings and times.
Where do you live? We need a working plan, not somebody to listen.
And not just talk and listen and talk, because it goes nowhere. We need to establish something official in writing, you the judge, you have the power, the authority to do that, and to rule, to my understanding.
Who do you want to select the citizen components of that?
You have a lot of experts here. You have a lot of experts here on the website. People can submit their names with their information, and they'll be part of that working group.
Okay.
And they'll be providing information. I mean, we got a lot of outstanding information that we provided today here.
Any objection or issues with that? All right, so we will, I mean, I don't have any opposition to the idea. I mean, I think that there's a lot of, skilled, individuals in the community that have offered to help in any way that they can. And so, I don't know if I can put it on the website, or if anybody wants to participate in that, I guess you can just email me.
And can I nominate you as the leader of the working group, you know?
Sure.
Get something done. Come on.
On the record.
So, my email address is djones, D as in Daniel, djones@gillespiecounty.org. You can email me if you want to participate in that, and we will get that started.
That's great. Got a vote.
Thanks, good sir.
Mr. Nash, we're about done. You want to finish?
Somebody else,
I'm sorry?
somebody else needs to speak.
Did you want to finish up the comment?
No, I just wanna make sure everybody from both cities.
Oh, yes, we've gone through everybody on the
You
list.
said
yes.
maybe.
Do you want to come, you want to make a comment? Okay. You're going to be our last comment on the rest of the.
All right, so, I heard that there's pertinent information that's come in from Amfer, Marshall, whoever that is, and so, I'm here to help. That's my email.
Okay. Good.
So anyway, but I want to follow the proper chain of command. You're always authority having jurisdiction, so you would have to contact me to look at anything, right? It wouldn't be something that I would just do on my own. So that's why I'm not even saying anything about that. And so also, kind of changing gears, but, Fredericksburg City, they currently are only, adopting 2015 International Fire Code. So that's before any of this BESS stuff started. That's where they're at right now, head assumptions. So really, I guess they just only had zoning, so I haven't talked to anybody in the city. I think, Frank's here, I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but he's probably somebody that can talk to the city about that. But anyway, they got the zoning stuff and everything, but there's eminent domain. So it's important that they at least adopt at least the 2021 version or even the 2021 version of IFC, or get up to speed like what we used to adopt the resolution. At least that puts NFPA 855 in play.
which, in our case, we have the local government connection, so to me, I'm not a lawyer, but to me, that's fine. So, that's all I can say. Thanks.
All right. Let's do the sub-regional thing, since that's really. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 5, which is, discuss and consider approval of the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission interlocal agreement and bylaw.